Hi. Hi, I'm Fingga and we meet again in another video of me for the assignment from Mr. Burhan. So in this video, I'm going to answer the question from the International Financial Management assignment from Mr. Burhan. Okay, so the first question. I feel like this is a Q&A. So, okay, the first question. At the 7-year maturity, US Treasury bonds yield to maturity is 7.95% PA. The Bank of Borneo states that it will make fixed interest rate payments on dollar at the yield on Treasury bonds plus 0.55% in exchange for receiving dollar LIBOR or LIBOR. And it will receive fixed interest rate payments on dollars at the yield on Treasury bonds plus 0.6% in exchange for paying dollar LIBOR. If Atom Corporation enter into an interest rate swap of $10 million with the Bank of Borneo, what will be Atom Corporation cash flows if Atom Corporation is paying the fixed rate and receiving the floating rate? Okay, so let's answer the first question. I already wrote the answer here, so let's just tell the answer. The answer is, if we pay the higher rate to the bank, then we will pay fixed interest rate at 8.55%. And then how we get to this 8.55%? The number is from 7.95% plus the 0.60%. Then we will get 8.55%. So we would receive interest at LIBOR. So in this way, the bank pays fixed interest rate at 5 basis points less than it received interest. So the relationship between this LIBOR and 8.55% would determine our actual cash flow. So if the LIBOR is more than 8.55%, then each 6 months we would receive the net amount of by calculating 0.5 times LIBOR minus 8.55% times $10 million. But the first thing we need to do here is to calculate the minus sign first. So we need to calculate the LIBOR minus 8.55% first, and then we are going to multiplying it with 0.5 and $10 million. But if the LIBOR is less than 8.55%, then we would pay the net amount by calculating 0.5 times 8.55% minus LIBOR times $10 million. As usual, the first thing we need to do is to calculate the minus sign here. So we need to calculate the 8.55% minus LIBOR first, and then we are going to multiply it with 0.5 and $10 million. And that is the answer for the first question. Okay, next question, number 2. The question is, Grant Inc. is a well-known US firm that needs to borrow 10 million British pounds to support a new business in the United Kingdom. However, it cannot obtain financing from British banks because it is not yet established within the United Kingdom. It decides to issue dollar-denominated debt at par value in the United States, for which it will pay an annual coupon rate of 10%. It then will convert the dollar proceeds from the debt issue into British pounds at the prevailing spot rate. The prevailing spot rate is £1. 1 quarter is like $1.70. Over each of the next 3 years, it plans to use the revenue in pounds from the new business in the United Kingdom to make its annual debt payment. Grant Inc. engaged in a currency swap in which it will convert pounds to dollars at an exchange rate of $1.70 per pound at the end of each of the next 3 years. How many dollars must be borrowed initially to support the new business in the United Kingdom? How many pounds should Grant Inc. specify in the swap agreement that it will swap over each of the next 3 years in exchange for dollars so that it can make its annual coupon payments to the US creditors? Okay, so let's answer the second question. So in this situation, since Grant Inc. needs 10 million pounds, so Grant will need to issue debt amounting about $17 million. And then how do we get this $17 million? Is from $10 million times 1.70 per pound. So this Grant Inc. will pay 10% on the principal amount of $17 million, which is $1.7 million annually as a coupon rate. Why is it 1.7? Because $17 million times 10% would be $1.7 million. For the next 3 years, it should specify that 1 million pounds are to be swapped for dollars for each year. For the next 3 years. So for the next 3 years, each year going to be swapped for 1 million pound. But how do we get this 1 million pound? So this 1 million pound we get it by calculating $1.7 million divided by $1.70 per pound, and then we will get a 1 million pound. And that's it. This is the end of this video, and that is all the answer from me for this assignment. And I'm completely sorry if my voice sounds nasal because I'm not in a good condition right now. I'm a little bit sick, and I'm sorry if I sometimes stuttered a little bit because it's a little bit hard for me to explain a formula in a video. And thank you for watching my video. Bye bye.